You know, one of my favorite movies, because I'm a big comeback story fan, because I've always liked the idea of, an individual thinking that they've been knocked back 5 steps when in reality it's kind of like a slingshot. You've been pulled back just to be launched twice as far. But that's another conversation for another day. Probably one of my top 5 movies of all time has to be Creed 2. And I have my own reasons for enjoying the movie, but there's a certain scene near the end of the movie that really speaks to me in a way that I think that a lot of people miss. And it's a scene where, Drago's son, spoiler alert, that Drago's son and Creed, they're going at it for the final bout. And on the scorecards, Drago's up. He's winning the fight so far. They're both landing decent shots. And then at one point in the fight, Drago lands a right hook, possibly cracking some of Creed's ribs, and then hits him with a left hook that puts him on the mat. And I love this scene because when Creed hits the mat, everything goes silent around him. And he's there and he's writhing in pain and he's looking around and he's really down bad and he's feeling it. And he starts pounding his fists into the mat out of frustration. I mean, as anybody can imagine. And when he finally gets up, the first words out of the referee's mouth is, "What is your name?"
No man should be able to fight through that beating, but Adonis Creed.
What's your name?
Creed.
What's your name?
Creed.
And the second time that he says his name, he says it with such authority. Creed ends up winning the fight. And it was just the idea that the referee had to say, "What is your name?" twice, almost as if he needed to remind Creed exactly who he was. And because again, when Creed first said it, he was like, my name is Creed. But then when the ref asked him again, "No, what is your name?" He said Creed. He woke up. And the thing about it is that the repeat of his name was almost like a wake-up call for him to not only remember who he was, but what he was fighting for. Because when he had to say for the second time what his name was, it was almost like a switch went off that he realized that fighting for a title was not going to be enough. Fighting for the extrinsic value or the recognition that could be given to him by virtue of winning this fight, that wasn't enough. And the problem is that a lot of us, we really think that fighting for a title or going into situations for the sake of a title, that's gonna bring us something. But the thing is that if we go into a situation with that type of thinking, we're gonna lose the fight every single time. And for a lot of us, we can't afford to lose the fight. We can't afford to continue to go into these situations with the wrong mindset. He realized by saying his name for the second time that this had to come intrinsically from him. This had to come from the significant weight that he knew, that he now realized his name carried, because his name carried the weight of not only those that came before him, but those that were coming after him. And so the question that I have for the majority of us is, what is your name? And it's like, well, stupid question, I know, no. What is your name? What are you fighting for? Who are you fighting for? And so what I need for all of you to do is that think of the one person that has the most to lose if you were to lose this fight. Think about the one person, or it could be multiple people, that have the most to lose if you were to get out of this ring and throw in the towel right now. If you were to get out of the ring of life and throw your towel in because you caught a left hook and a right jab and you're getting beat, and on the scorecards it looks like you're losing, but there's a whole nother 2 rounds to go. There's a whole nother 2 rounds to go in this fight. But the thing is that if you are doing this for a title, you are not going to make it all of those rounds. If you're doing it to get recognition from others, then you're going to die from their rejection. You have to do it from the weight of your name, because your name carries value. Your name carries weight. And so I encourage each and every single one of you to be strong and courageous. That's one of the things that I really, really feel is necessary to say, especially coming into 2021, because 2020 showed us that life has changed in ways that we never could have imagined it to change. That it's changed in ways that have changed the way we live, the way we eat, the way we socialize, all of it. So in order to go into 2021 with a winning mindset, you have to be strong and courageous, because let me tell you something, you're going to be faced with situations where people are going to have their eyes on you to see if you're going to step in the ring and finish the fight, or if you're going to throw in the towel before you even get into the training arena. So you have to be strong and courageous to know that if you are fighting for the sake of your name and what your name means to you and what you mean to other people, then you are going to be able to go into any situation, and even though it might not look the way you want it, even though the circumstances might not look the way you thought they would, and you getting frustrated because you keep getting knocked down, and you're pounding your fist into the mat because you're saying, Jesus Christ, this is not how I thought my life was supposed to look. And although the circumstances might not look the way that you wanted them to, the fact of the matter is that as long as you keep getting up and you keep saying, you know what, my name is such and such, and I will not allow this life to beat me down into submission. I will beat it until I win. It is not over until I win. When you walk into the ring with that type of mindset, it doesn't matter how big the opponent is. It doesn't matter how big the situation is. It doesn't matter how big the stress is. It doesn't matter how big the anxiety is. It doesn't matter how big the depression is. It doesn't matter how big the grief of losing a lost one is. The thing that matters is that you will continue to fight until you win. You've been through too much. You have been through too much hell to give up now. If you wanted to quit, you should have quit 10 years ago. If you wanted to quit, you should have quit 5 years ago. You should have quit when you lost your job. You should have quit when your bank account was negative. You should have quit when you lost your mama. You should have quit when you lost your dad. You should have quit when you lost that scholarship. You should have quit then. But the fact that you've gotten this far, you've been through so much hell, don't give up now. Don't stop now. Get a reward from it. Like you've been trying to do all of this on your own. You've been trying to fight this battle all by yourself. And if you're going to do it, then guess what? You need to be able to get down on your knees and say, you know what, this is not over until I win. When I think about somebody like Martin Luther King, in one of his last speeches, he knew that by virtue of what he was doing, by virtue of what he was fighting for, he knew that his fight was going to be ended before he got a chance to finish it himself. He said in one of his last speeches,
So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing anything.
The way that I have, so that no matter if I get killed, my message will live on. No matter if I don't see another day, my name will be carried in the mouths of generations to come. And guess what? The ones that have been watching me are the ones that are going to pick up the fight and keep fighting. That's why the name and the impact of Martin Luther King was never lost on time, because when you get into the ring and you're willing to give everything you've got, you're willing to give 110% to what it is that you are fighting for, there is nothing on this planet that can stop you. There is nothing in this world that can stop you. There is nothing in your past that can stop you. There is nothing in front of you that can stop you. It doesn't matter how big, strong, or scary it looks, because you've been putting in the work and you understand that this impact is deeper than me. It's deeper than a title. It's deeper than a degree. It's deeper than a salary. It's deeper than me. And so when you know that, you know exactly how badly this fight means to you. So I ask each and every single one of you, what is your name? And when I ask you that, I'm not asking you to just say, oh, well, my name is such and such. No. I'm asking you to say your name with authority, because your name carries authority. Your name is the name that your children and your children's children are going to be talking about for generations, simply because of the legacy that you leave today, the legacy that you leave for them to pick up after you. So what are you fighting for? What is it that you're trying to accomplish in this world to make it a better place? What are you doing? Because 2021 is not going to be a year of laziness. It's not going to be a year of just trying to get by. A lot of you have been on the injury reserve list for too long. You've been sitting on the sidelines waiting for somebody else to step into the ring and fight your fight. But it's time for you to lace up your boots and get in the gym and start training, because this battle is coming. I want you to be able to step into that ring and say, I don't care how big or how hard you hit me. I might go down, but I'm not going to stay down. I might be down bad right now, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be down bad in the next 30 seconds, because I'm going to continue to get up. I'm going to continue to fight back. And I'm going to continue to fight back until I win, because I would rather die trying than to live a life of where I give up on every single turn I have. Every single life that every single monkey wrench that gets thrown at me, I just give up. I throw in the towel. You're fighting for your legacy. And I encourage every single one of you to understand that. To understand that it's deeper than you. It's deeper than me. What you are fighting for, you are your ancestors' wildest dreams. You are fighting for something that is so much bigger than you, that you can't afford to give up. You can't afford to stop. Pound your fists into the dirt as much as you feel you need to. By the end of that emotional state, you still got to get up and keep fighting. Because the end of the fight, it might be on the other side of your emotional frustration. Emotions are fleeting. Emotions are fickle. So if you throw in the towel every time you let your emotions take over, then the fight will never be won. But you got to understand that it's okay to get emotional, but it's not okay to stay emotional. Get in the ring and fight for exactly what you deserve. Get in the ring and fight exactly for what your family needs. Fight for what's to come, not for what you're looking at. So again, I ask every single one of you to wake up every single morning and look yourself in the mirror and truly ask yourself, what's your name? And when you ask that, understand the small questions that are attached to that. What am I fighting for? Why am I doing this? What is my end goal? What am I trying to do intrinsically instead of trying to retain extrinsically? What am I doing? How am I going to do it? What is the amount of energy that I'm going to need to give forth for me to win this fight? How much am I willing to put in to get out? What am I willing to fight for? Ask yourself these questions on a daily basis and watch how your actions change. Watch how your mindset changes. Watch how the way that you walk changes, the way that you talk changes. Just watch everything change around you. Because I'm telling you, when you understand that this is deeper than you, and this has bigger implications than you, you're gonna never look at the same fight. You're not gonna look at the fight the same way ever again. I love you. I implore nothing but blessings for you. I pray that this message found you well. I pray that this message just allows to permeate in your spirit. Let me know what you think. Thank you for being patient. I had to get my mind right before stepping on this camera because I didn't want to provide something to you guys that wasn't of substance or just for the sake of uploading a video. I wanted to make sure that if I have something to say, that it's something that actually means something. So thank you for being so patient with me, guys. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Love y'all.